This is a can of SprayDip, which is something I've come across recently. This is pretty similar to other stuff that's on the market. It comes in two parts. What we've actually got here is we've got the tin of spray with the adjustable nozzle, which is quite a nice touch. And the other part that goes with it is the SprayDip remover. Quite why we've actually got the remover, I'm not quite sure. But what I have been told is you mustn't get this on rubber or anything else because it will affect the rubber and parts of it. What I intend to spray is the hinge section for my glove compartment, which sits in the 66 Mustang. It's dry, it's clean, it's been degreased, and basically what I'm after is the vinyl look, or a more natural look rather than just metal that sits in there. The tin of SprayDip gives you that option. It says peels like vinyl, liquid spray wrap, sprays like paint. It does say on the back that it requires 6 to 7 thin wet coats. Some it requires more than that. That's quite a lot. Whether this actual tin goes that far and you get value for money, I don't know. But I'm going to give it a go. I have been shaking this for the last couple of minutes, so it's ready to go. That's the first coat gone on. The second coat. I've put 4 coats on this so far, quite thin, exactly the same as it was before, and it's starting to dry off a little bit on the edges. I'm not convinced that you're supposed to put wet on wet on wet, but what I've done is I've sort of like put a couple of coats on wet on wet. Now I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to put the next coat on, then the next coat. Although it doesn't actually say that on the instructions. Another piece that I'd done earlier, this was the fresh air vent cable. It was just steel underneath, and just about make out some of the steel that's there. And basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to coat this in the rubber or the vinyl, because the actual original part of it was all perished. So I'm just waiting to see how this actually looks as well. I've masked the ends off just so that I can see what actually happens, because I don't want that to go on the chrome that's at the end of it. Okay, my hinge has now had the 5th coat gone on, and it definitely seems to be that if you put the thinner the coat on, the quicker it dries and the more you can actually get on. So don't go too mad when you're actually putting this stuff on. So that's actually starting to look okay. This is a piece that I've just had earlier, and this is a bit I'm actually going to peel off in a little bit just to actually see what it actually peels like. That's just a bracket that holds the cable to the air vent. And the cable, this seems to be drying okay. This again has had about 5 or 6 coats on it. It's not doing too bad, but it's taking a little bit more time to do. Right, so this is the vinyl. It's been dried. It's got exactly the same amount as what I've had on the glove compartment hinge. I've put a little scalpel mark in the top there, just about to see it, so that I can start this off. I've had a tiny little peel, and this is what I'm actually getting as a result. It is peeling, but it's not peeling that well. As a matter of fact, slightly disappointing. It's supposed to peel like vinyl, so it says on there. This has had 5-6 coats. As you can see, it's been coated fairly well. Now I've got it started, it's not too bad, but it doesn't seem to peel in a consistent way, i.e. keeps breaking off, and it's a little bit of a mess. There's no clean peel to it, like I would expect, as in to have the whole thing come off in nice one easy lump. Perhaps I'm doing it wrong, but it's not like what I've used on the others. So that's where I am at the moment. So I've given up with trying to peel it. I've had another little go, and it is not peeling off in one nice easy piece of vinyl. Trying to keep my hands out of the way of this, it's quite difficult, but it's not that good. It coats well, it sticks well, but trying to get it off, a little bit of a performance. I dare say I can rub it off, but if this was on a genuine paintwork of a car, I wouldn't be too impressed about having to do this all over it. Mind you, that bit didn't come off too bad. But anyway, I've got some Spray Dissolve, which comes with it. I've got no idea how this works and what it's going to do, so I'm just going to give it a spray on there and see what it actually does. Smells like furniture polish. Right, okay, as I'm rubbing this, I can feel it's actually melting it away, dissolving it away, and I can feel the metal underneath. So it's actually turning it into sort of like a solidified type liquid. Again, if I was to have this on my paintwork, I wouldn't be too impressed with that. Probably going to turn it into some sort of gloopy type mess, which it has. But at the same time, it has got rid of it, and it has come off. Quite what the outcome of this would be all over paint, I'm not too sure, but I'm not particularly that impressed with it at the moment. Let's get a rag. So I've just got an old cleaning cloth here. Yeah, that has taken it all off, but it has left a little bit of a film on there. Let's try a bit more. Yeah, it's taken it off. Now if this is sort of like eating away the rubber as it's supposed to be doing, if you've got rubber on your car, I dare say this would attack it. So I wouldn't get this anywhere near rubber or anything like that. Now this is some of the vinyl that I've actually pulled off. As you can see on my fingers, it's actually just starting to dissolve that away. Yeah, so dissolved stuff does work, but I'd be very careful about where you're actually putting it. Right, because I couldn't get very much off of the bracket that I had there, which I wasn't very impressed with, I thought, no, I'll give it another go. So this is a piece of plastic that I actually sprayed the hinge on. Nothing more than a very cheap food container, but this has had about 9, 10, 15 coats on it, because I've been spraying quite a few things on here, so it's obviously been built up quite a lot. Now I started to peel this, and now it has started to peel like vinyl, as they say, but this is an awful lot more than the half a dozen coats, or 5, 6 coats at least, it recommended. But obviously when you start getting down to the lower numbers again, it becomes difficult to peel. So whether you want to make your own mind up with this stuff, it's okay, but it looks like to actually get a decent peel, you are going to have to use an awful lot of this stuff to make up the layers. But once the layers are there, it did seem to peel okay, but not brilliant. That's quite a few layers. As you can see, it's obviously sticking well by the sounds of it, but it's difficult to get off. Now if you want to use this as a temporary treatment, not so much a good thing, but if you want it to actually leave it on for a while and you intended leaving it on, then it's going to be pretty good gear, I would have thought. But depends what your use is. If you want to put it on for a little while then take it off, I think you're going to be in for a nightmare. But if you want to put it on and leave it on, I don't think it's going to be too bad.